thing I do is tell everybody how we got connected for this call and a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Okay. So let me know when.
Yeah, you're free to go now.
Hey, my name is Debbie Yarbrough, and I actually connected with Lachelle, about 7 or 8 months ago on LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
regarding some posts that we had shared about making a difference for individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that we actually don't live that far apart,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd started doing doing some podcast about 3 months ago,
Okay.
and you invited me to attend this one.
Awesome. Okay. Now, so what is it that you do? Because I think when we talked last, you were just getting started with a new job or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually work in payroll. I was very fortunate to have found a job working from home. So,
Awesome.
so there's something very surreal about getting out of the shower and walking 6 feet and sitting down and going to work.
I love that.
Yes, it works for me. It's a wonderful thing.
That is
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Hmm.
So,
So today we were going to be talking about the importance of giving to others. So we're just going to kind of dive in right into the topic. But before we begin, I saw that Jordan Gross.
yes, I
I
actually was on his podcast. The Cloud 9 moment.
mm-hmm,
Oh my
mm-hmm.
gosh, was that awesome or what?
Yeah, he is such a sweetheart. I just
Yes.
met him a couple weeks ago. I did a podcast with him through Anchor.
Yeah.
And we had to record like 7 times. Okay, it
Oh
was
my
crazy.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
So talking about perseverance, he is great, and just his wisdom to be just 24 years old. I'm impressed.
I'm gonna tell you, he actually, I connected with him a couple of years ago, and he paged me out of the blue, and he said, "I would like to take our networking, another step. Can I call you?" And I'm like, he was
Hmm.
the first person that ever had done that, ever.
Wow,
And
wow,
so I'm like, yeah, okay. And
mm.
I wasn't sure what he wanted. I
Right?
mean, and oh, he is a sweetheart. When
Yes.
when he told the story about how he came up with the idea of the Cloud 9 moment, that's just something
Hmm.
that you just don't forget. You just don't
Yeah.
forget that story.
Hmm.
So, and he was
Very
actually instrumental in me doing my first video.
awesome. That is
Yes,
wonderful.
yes.
Okay. Well, good for you.
Thank you.
So now, when it comes to giving, these topics usually are just life lessons that we want to share with the audience. What
Mhm.
is it that really sparks you about this topic when it comes to giving?
I think when it comes to giving, the perception of people think that it always costs money. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You can give that kind word, or someone's looking for a job and you see a job posting, and
Mm-hmm.
you put in a good word for them. Michelle, my thing about giving
Mm-hmm.
is the more you give, the
Mm-hmm.
better you feel about yourself,
Yeah.
and and God takes care of those that
Yeah.
takes care of others.
I love that,
Yes,
and I definitely feel the same way because, it just puts a little joy
it does.
into your day and
It
makes you feel little bit better about yourself. So,
absolutely.
for a lot of people though, giving is like a foreign language to some. It's so there's so much emphasis on, self improvement and doing all these different things regarding, getting yourself together. So if somebody is kind of new to giving, this is something that's different for them. They don't understand. They're always used to getting something in return. What advice would you give somebody listening who just wants to get started? Something that they could do to kind of implement this behavior in their life.
The one thing that I think that we can look for is just it's finding a purpose. Find
Mm,
find your purpose in life.
mm-hmm.
Find what drives you, and then it becomes natural. If
Mm-hmm.
you're going to give with any kind of expectation that you're
Mm-hmm.
going to get something in return, it's not, trust me, it's not going to be sincere, and
Yeah,
it will be felt.
that is true. That is true. So,
Yes.
what was it you think that was the pivotal point in you, being a giver? Was that something that you felt you always grew up being, or?
I think, Lachelle, I've always been a giver,
Mm-hmm.
but I never realized the impact
Mm-hmm.
that it has on an individual, and
Right.
until someone last year, when I was looking for a job,
Mm-hmm.
they gave a little part of them to me
Mm-hmm.
that just totally changed my whole persona about this job hunt, and
Wow.
it it made a difference, Michelle.
Wow.
This lady, I had been looking for 5 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I was pretty devastated that I hadn't found anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it took her 30 minutes to tell me, Debbie, you've just lost belief in yourself. And this
Mm.
is what we're going to do to get you back on track, because I had this interview coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And so she gave me links and tips, and every day she would page me with something positive,
Mm.
and it really built my morale up. And
Wow.
so when I went into that interview, Lachelle,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I had her on one shoulder and an angel on the other. I
Wow.
I actually aced the interview.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the interview, the manager did tell me that it was the best interview that she had ever had,
Wow.
and that it would be a week before she got back with me. And they actually called me within 30 minutes of that interview and gave me an offer. And it's like,
That
oh my
is
gosh. And like I say, we think we give in all capacities.
mm-hmm.
But when something like that happens to you,
Yes.
you realize it didn't cost any money. It
Mm-hmm.
just cost a little bit of time, it
Mm-hmm.
some kind words,
Mm-hmm.
and it totally changed my life.
That is awesome.
Totally changed my life. Yes, and I just, right, that right there told me that even though I thought I was making a difference, I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
making a big enough difference.
Awesome. Now, so how did you guys get connected? Because, you were saying that you had been looking for 5 months, and for you to feel comfortable to share that, what was it that took place before she gave you that advice?
I sat on LinkedIn, and I listened to or saw all the positive comments and the people that had good things to say. And
Mm-hmm.
and I, like most people, I didn't want to ask for help. I
Mm.
had a lot of pride, and I didn't want
Okay.
to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Lachelle, I was at the point that I either could go to work or I was going to be homeless.
Wow.
And so I paged somebody and said, look, I think I might be a victim of ageism. Is there anything I
Mm.
can do?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she said, get a hold to contact Norma. And Norma is she's an influencer on LinkedIn. She's helped a lot of people. And
Wow.
Norma did not hesitate for a minute
Wow.
to connect with me right away. We still stay connected today.
That is
It's
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome. So that's amazing about the community with LinkedIn, because a lot of people feel like, just as you felt, I don't want to ask for any help. You've experienced, you've kind of created your own network of people, so jumping out of that comfort zone at
Exactly.
such a vulnerable time.
Exactly.
Let's say that somebody listening is at that point. What advice would you give them to step out of that comfort zone, because it's very unfamiliar and scary?
I think that people just need to understand that it's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfectly okay. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than likely you've done everything right,
Right.
but you just didn't. We just haven't hit on that right yet. And
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say I have never in my entire experience with LinkedIn, and I've been using LinkedIn for 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anyone say I need help. That the whole army didn't come out. It
Right.
it gives you that sense of, Lachelle, our family can support us. Our families do
Mm-hmm.
support us. Our loved ones do support us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think until when you say to someone on LinkedIn, I think ageism is impacting my ability to find a job. There are
Mm-hmm.
people that can relate to that.
Right.
Your family cannot relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
And so knowing that someone has been there and they've been through it, and they know what it's like, and
Mm-hmm.
they believe in you, it's completely different than what you're going to get from family and friends. It's
Awesome.
completely different.
Awesome. Yeah, that is so true.
Yes.
Now, so let's go back just a few minutes, just a few to, that whole job search time and, that feeling of ageism because, there could be somebody who is feeling like they're plagued with the same thing, so what was it that was said that kind of got you past that? Because, it could happen. These are some of the things that we know happens, but we don't really talk about it. Just like there's people that go through depression, there are some negative things that are out there, but, we have to have a game plan and a routine to rise above the negativity because even though it exists, we don't have to stay there. So, for somebody who's feeling like ageism is an issue, what is the tip that you would give them regarding the job search?
The biggest tip that I can give is ageism is out there.
Mm-hmm.
I had recruiters tell me that, their clients would be specific about an age group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there are companies
Mm-hmm.
that will hire you and don't care what your age group is.
Right.
And those are the ones that are are going to give you credit for your knowledge, your worthiness, and
Mm-hmm.
what you bring to the table.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
And those are
Nah.
the ones where you want to apply for. I mean, honestly, I applied for
Right.
over 200 jobs,
Wow.
and I only had like 10 interviews, and I knew
Mm-hmm.
I was really in trouble. And
Mm-hmm.
because I know my skill set is
Right.
very strong and my
Mm-hmm.
working knowledge is very strong, it
Mm-hmm.
was just my age that was working against me.
Mm-hmm. Now, so what are some things that help you even now, because a lot of it is, yes, we have the experience and we're kind of running into this a little bit with the millennials. They don't necessarily have the experience, but they have the knowledge a lot of times. So, what is it if you are somewhat of a veteran, so to speak, in terms of experience? Some advice that you would give someone to keep evolving and staying relevant? What are some things that you do in order to incorporate that?
Well, I've done it in my entire life, but I always seek opportunities for growth.
Mm,
Anytime anything comes up within my job that I
mm-hmm.
may not know how to do, and I may not necessarily want to know how to do it, but I
Right.
but I jump on the bandwagon because that is just one more thing that I can
Mm-hmm.
add to my resume that I can do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Never pass an opportunity to learn.
I love that.
You make yourself marketable. You
Mm-hmm.
really do. You really
Mm-hmm.
do.
This is true
Yes,
because I'm telling you, it changes every day. Look, in my household, it's always a new social media platform, or, you never really outgrow learning.
you
This is
don't.
true,
You
because,
absolutely don't.
hmm
You
well,
don't.
this is wonderful. So, what are some closing remarks that you want to share with somebody who's listening about, giving or anything that's kind of on your heart about it. This is such a great topic. And a
You know,
lot of times, yeah.
the one thing that really is about me, and I really encourage this,
Mm-hmm.
is I tell people to be true to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
believe in yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
have the courage to take on challenges without fear.
I love that.
Be creative and find
Mm-hmm.
ways to work around those obstacles,
I love
because
that.
in the end you're going to come out on top.
I love that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is great advice.
Thank you.
Awesome. Now, we just really want to thank you for your time. I mean, this is such a good topic, and a lot of times, like I said, it can be like a foreign language to
Right. Right.
other people listening because we have this thing where you do this, especially when it comes to even a presence on social media, for example. We're looking for likes and we're looking for people to engage, and it's like we do things expecting something to
Right.
take place.
Right.
So sometimes getting out of that mindset and being a giver and just doing what it is you want to do, just, sharing your knowledge, sometimes that's a hard thing for people to begin to take part in.
Michelle,
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, I will say this. I have never been one to keep up with my stats on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I've got posts that I only have 6 comments on.
Mm-hmm.
I have posts that I have 200 comments on.
Right.
For me, whether I have 6 or whether I have 200,
Mm-hmm.
it's making a difference for one person that day.
Amen.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how many likes or dislikes or what.
Right.
It's just that one person that day.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Because just like you said, in your case, there are people that are extending a lifeline out there.
Yes.
When they bring things up, it's something that's true to them that they are experiencing. So that is something we don't want to take
There's
for granted.
there's so many silent sufferers,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and those are the ones that I would really like to
Mm-hmm.
touch.
That is awesome. Well, you definitely
Yes.
are making a difference. And I just remember how we connected. It absolutely with that intention in mind with
Right.
the different posts and uplifting. So just want to
Yes.
tell you congratulations. And
Well,
yeah,
congratulations on your pod.
I love it.
Yes.
It is just so good to be able to get the insight from others because, a lot of times when you do feel like you are sharing with others, you wonder if it resonates with other people.
Right.
So it's
Right.
so good to be able to talk with everybody and share everyone's wisdom because, it really can speak volumes. One podcast can totally change your insight and you're living a
You're
lot better, you know.
you're absolutely
Mhm.
right. Absolutely
Mhm.
right.
So this is
You're doing a
well,
good
thank
thing.
you so much. It has been such a pleasure. I want to thank you again for your time this morning.
Okay, well, thank you,
Mhm.
hon, and I wish you much success going forward, and
God
God
bless you
bless.
too. You have a great day, okay?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.